Now, how we provide for the elderly took centre stage in the battle for your votes today. All three major parties have been talking about their approach to funding care homes in England. For millions of families, it is a huge concern. ITV News has been to meet one woman struggling to provide her mother with the help she needs. Sally Bidelf reports.
Where do I go now?
Suffering from dementia, 91-year-old Peggy Belcher needs to live in a care home.
Who's that?
For the past 4 years, her daughter Anne has paid for it, selling her mother's home to meet the £600 a week costs. She's battled for financial help from the government, but has always drawn a blank. Emotionally, she's exhausted.
It goes on for so long. You know, when it's finished, you look back and I'm sorry. You don't know how you did it.
Anne has hundreds of letters asking for help, but because of having savings, she's been hit twice by the system. Her husband Jim died of Alzheimer's last year. She looked after him at home and had to pay for some of his care.
There's not enough money in the kitty, but I feel it's very, very unfair for people that have worked hard, paid for their own homes, not taken foreign holidays, and saved and looked after themselves. I think it's wrong just because they've done that they should be penalised. There's got to be a cut-off point. It's not right to take every single penny.
Listening to the government's plans today, Anne says they just don't get it.
They keep doing all these exercises to look into it, and they keep making all these promises. You know, you hear things on television about all the various ideas which you don't know whether they'll do them or not. So I don't think they have a clue what to do about it, to be honest. I really don't. I just despair.
As Anne sees her mother deteriorate, she thinks about how her sons will care for her. She worries how they'll cope financially. Anne visits her mum at least twice a week. Bound by family ties to do the right thing, yet feeling utterly abandoned by the system. Sally Bidelf, ITV News, East Sussex.
Well, there then is the problem, but what is the solution? Well, the government says a compulsory levy is needed, but full details won't be announced until after a public consultation.
Everybody should make a contribution to the National Care Service. We're also saying that people should have the ability to choose how they make that payment, so nobody should be given just one way of paying. And we're going to set up a commission to advise the government on how to make that as fair and affordable for everybody as possible.
The Conservatives have proposed an £8,000 voluntary insurance scheme to cover residential care.
I personally think only a voluntary scheme is actually sustainable, because if we were to undermine family and care at home, we would end up with the government having to spend not just the money it does now, but literally 10 billion or more extra on top of that.
And the Lib Dems want the state to pay some of the costs topped up by individuals. They haven't ruled out a compulsory tax.
I want as much flexibility about how people can contribute to the cost of care, but we've all got to recognise that the system needs more funding, and we all have a responsibility to contribute to that so that elderly people get the care that they need, and critically that we get